Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. In today's video I'm doing Liv's makeup. We're going to be doing like a pink look considering her hair is pink, so I thought it would be cool to match. So I'm starting off with her eyebrows. I'm just taking the Inglot brow gel in the shade 16 and I'm just filling in her eyebrows. She does like them to be a little bit more full and more defined, so that's just what we're doing, and that's why I like to use the brow gel as well, as it just kind of gives that more fuller, thicker sort of look, and also you can get them more defined, I feel, than using powder. And I just really like the look of it. Towards the end I do kind of fade the front part out. Then to carve out and clean up underneath the eyebrows, I'm going to be taking the P. Louise eye base as I normally do. This is obviously something that I do all the time. I just feel like this eye base works super well with coloured eyeshadows, and I just feel like it just really holds the pigment, and it's also really easy to use. Everything blends nicely over it. It's really good coverage because I've got quite veiny eyelids and it really covers them all up, which is amazing. And yeah, it's just really easy to use and it looks good on as well. You don't have to set it, and you just kind of pat it on with a flat concealer brush and it almost sets itself. You just continue patting. You can kind of tell when it starts to set, I guess, just as it kind of stops becoming so easily moved around. It's a bit weird. But so the first color that I'm going to be taking is from the Stacey Marie Be Perfect palette, which is Liquor, which is this dark, it's almost like a dark burgundy sort of purpley shade. And I'm focusing this all throughout her crease, in the outer corner and also throughout the front. As I always say, when we're doing a cut crease, you want there to be like a really dark color there. So when we do the cut crease, the contrast between the light color in the cut crease and the dark color from the eyeshadow behind will make the cut crease look really sharp. Then I'm going to be taking a mixture of Wifey and Guilty mixed together. These are like kind of darkish pink shades, and I'm just going to be focusing that really close to the edge of the Liquor shade, as I need to fit in like another couple of colors. So we're just going to be really focusing that. That's kind of just going to help diffuse that really the harsh line of where I've finished Liquor. So basically just continue blending that out until I'm happy with the blend and like the color payoff as well. I do go back in with a little bit of Liquor if I feel like I need to, and then continue blending back over with the Wifey and Guilty shades as well. Then I'm going to be taking the shade, what color is this one? Funky. This one's like a bright pink shade, so it really makes the eyeshadow pop. Again, I'm using this to blend out all those eyeshadows together, and it brings out it really brings out the pink in the Wifey and Guilty shades. Then last, I'm going to be taking the shade Foolish, which is like this sort of peachy pink, but it just really kind of just finishes off the look and just gives it that little bit of lighter pink around the edges. I just feel like this just made the whole look really, really pretty. I was obsessed with the colors. So just blending that around the edges and then kind of just going back over all those colors again if necessary. Then I'm going to be taking the Inglot gel liner in the shade 94 as per usual to cut the crease. When I'm doing this, I do kind of ask the client to stop talking, just as I feel like this is how you're going to get a really sharp cut crease. And as usual, once I get to the edge, I will wipe one side of my brush off and kind of pull inwards towards the nose, just so I can get that blend between the eyeshadow and the gel liner. So then when we kind of try and blend the two together, it won't be hard and it's not going to just have like a direct solid line there. The two will really blend nicely together. The pigment that I'm going to be using is the Peaches and Cream Disco pigment. This is like a really nice sparkly silver shade. I just thought it would look really pretty on top and like kind of contrast with the pink really nicely, and I don't really use silver that much, so I thought it would be cool, and Liv always wears silver jewelry, so again I thought that would match really well. Then just going back in with that Liquor shade and blending the pigment and the eyeshadow together. Like I said before, I pretty much already created that blend, so it's super easy to blend together. I just kind of keep going over with that disco and then keep going in with the Liquor shade. Then I'm just going to be lining her lash line just with the Inglot 77 gel liner as usual, and just kind of, I didn't want to do anything too crazy. For lashes, I'm taking the Holy Grail Cosmetics Mood Lashes. These are super fluffy full lashes, and they literally looked so nice with the look as well. I was obsessed with how they made the eyes look. I loved them so much. Once I've stuck these on, I will then grab a makeup wipe and just wipe underneath her eyes just to get rid of all of that excess eyeshadow that we do not need there anymore, as it can get a little bit messy, especially with like the pigment and stuff like that, especially with like bright pink eyeshadows too. They do tend to go kind of all over the place. So then I'm going to be doing the under eyes before the foundation, just because I didn't want any of the pink eyeshadow going all over her base. So I'm just taking the P. Louise eye base underneath her eyes, and then I'm going to start with the Liquor shade and then go out with the rest of them. So Liquor, then Wifey and Guilty, and then I'm also going to be using Funky and Foolish, but I think I do Funky and Foolish once I've put the foundation on, just so then it kind of all blends in together really nicely. I do line her waterline with some of the 77 gel liner as well, just because I really wanted to be really smoked out, and it made her eyes really pop as well. So kind of just making sure that everything blends really nicely together, and then again wiping away any of the excess. I do like to leave a little bit of a gap where the concealer is still there, just so it can blend into the foundation nicely. Then I'm going to be prepping her skin, so I'm just using the Benefit Matte Rescue Primer just in her T-zone. And then I'm going to be using the Laura Mercier Radiance Primer for the rest of her face, which is like a really nice glowy moisturizing sort of primer. Then for foundation, I'm going to be taking the Too Faced Born This Way foundation as per usual. This one was in the shade Light Beige because she was a little bit tanned, but it was kind of coming off. I did add a little bit of bronzer down her neck as well, just to make sure it all matched up, and just blending this in with the Dirty 30 sponge. Also around the edges and like the eyebrows and stuff, just got to be extra careful that we're not getting it into the eyeshadow. And we're also not getting it into the eyebrows as well. I mean, eyebrows aren't too bad because we can always go over those, but the eyeshadow, just got to be extra careful that we're not going over that with foundation, because that makes it a little bit more difficult to kind of work around. Now, once I've done the rest of her face with the foundation, I did do a couple of layers just to get a little bit more coverage, as I wanted this to be like a super full glam look. I'm just going to take some concealer. So I'm just going to take the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer in the shade Custard. I'm just going to be popping this underneath her eyes, down the bridge of her nose, on her chin, and also, where have I not said? Oh, forehead, that's the one that I meant. And then I'm going to be blending that in with the mini Dirty 30 sponge from Dirty 30s. And I'm just going to be blending that in, and then once I've blended those in, I'm going to be taking the Laura Mercier translucent powder as always, and I'm going to be popping that underneath her eyes, and also in her laugh lines as well. When I apply it to the laugh lines, I really make sure that I push that product in, just as I feel like it kind of like there's less chance of you creasing there. I mean, you always are going to crease just because that area moves so much, but that definitely decreases the chance of like having really big deep laugh lines. Kind of also the same under the eyes. I do really push it into the skin, but I kind of just leave it there for a little bit. I don't completely blend it away like I do the laugh lines. Then taking the Bobbi Brown foundation stick in the shade Cool Almond, as I always do, on a stippling brush, and just to contour the face. So I'm just popping this on her cheekbones and then also around her forehead as well, and just really making sure that's all blended in nicely, and also into her hairline a little bit, so you don't get that line around the hairline that doesn't look too crash hot. Then I'm just going to be setting the face with the Australis Fresh and Flawless powder in the shade Darkest Brown, and just patting this all over her skin, making sure that I'm blending away that excess powder from under her eyes, as we don't want any of that to be still sat there. Because again, we don't want any loose powder on the rest of her face. Then I'm going to be taking the Hoola bronzer from Benefit and just using this to contour her face. As we all know, I only use like patting motions when applying all the powders and bronzers and blushes and everything to the everyone's faces. I just feel that that's how you get more of a flawless finish, because it's not going to be moving the products around, and it's not going to be moving this like the foundation and stuff like that, and it doesn't look muddy. So then I'm just taking again the MAC Give Me Sun. Oh my god, I couldn't work out what I was going to say then. The MAC Give Me Sun bronzer. Again, patting this in because we don't want it to be moving the foundation around. Then just wiping away the excess that's really close to under eye, and then going in with the MAC Warm Soul blush. I did want this to be a little bit more pink, so I did add like a little bit more than what I normally do, just to kind of tie in with like the hair and the eyes and everything. Just as I felt like I just wanted it to be like, yeah, kind of all tied together and be really pink. So I did add quite a little bit of blush, but it doesn't look like ridiculous. It's just more than what I normally apply. Then for highlighter, I'm just taking the Oh Darling by MAC as well, and just kind of putting this in the same places that I normally do. I actually am obsessed with this highlighter at the moment. It's just one of my favorites. It just looks so pretty on everyone, and it's just such a nice finish. I actually thought I'd lost it, and I used another one, and it just wasn't the same. Like, this one just looks so nice. I don't know what it is, but it's honestly one of my fave. And as you can see, I've got like hit pan on it, so I definitely need a new one soon. Then just going in with some of the Benefit Hoola bronzer just to contour her nose slightly, and then just taking a fluffy pencil brush just to blend out those edges. As I've said before, the P. Louise base, you don't set, so it's really easy to blend away those edges into the foundation, so it all looks really seamless. Then for inner corner, I'm taking MAC Nylon eyeshadow. This is like one of my favorites, and it just makes it so, it just pops so much. I really love this one for colored eyeshadow looks. I think it looks like super nice. Apparently on this day, Liv was a little bit tired. I'm just taking some mascara. I think this is just a Maybelline one, just on top and top and bottom lashes, and just to obviously blacken those lashes, and also blend her natural lashes into the falsies as well. Then I'm going to be taking some lipstick. Actually, no, this is when I add that little bit of funky and foolish underneath the eyes, also just to blend it down that little bit further. Then for lipstick, I'm taking the MAC Strip Down Lip Pencil and also the MAC Honey Love lipstick. The Honey Love lipstick is like a sort of nudie pink, so I thought it would really tie in with the eyes without it being like too much pink, you know? I didn't want like pink eyes, pink this, pink, pink, pink. I wanted it to be kind of more of a soft pink, just so it really ties in with the rest of the look, but without being too much. And I really love this lip pencil just because it's slightly darker than the lipstick, so it kind of gives that little bit more definition on the outer of the lips, and it also kind of gives that slight ombre effect as well. And then I'm going to add some setting spray, and I do add a little bit of the Laura Mercier Glow Powder just around her T-zone, just to kind of give it a little bit more of a, a little bit more of a glow, because why not? And here we have the completed look. I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, then please like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in my next one. Bye!